The dance floor used to be a scary place, a place I couldn't quite say I was familiar nor comfortable with yet. But eventually I knew, without putting trust into myself and my partner, the audience or judges wouldn't be able to see who I was. They couldn't see who I was outside all of the stress in my everyday life and see how it all came off of me when I walked onto the floor. Darkness that lies deep inside of me, come forth in all thy mystery. Show me thy gaze, teach me thy ways, that I a better person may be. Love that lies deep inside of me, come forth in all thy unity. Let me be thy gaze, let me teach thy ways, that I a better person may be.
It was New Year's Eve, and I decided to take Christmas tree down. Just as something to do because we were expecting the package with the information about him any day. We got a DHL delivery, and so I opened it up and just said, "Oh, we got a baby, we got a baby," and the picture fell to the floor. And his two older siblings came and said, "So was it a boy or a girl?" I'm like, "Well, he's wearing blue. I think it's a boy." And they say not to consider the baby yours, but you get this picture and you immediately bond with this picture and consider it. This is Justin's my child. You know, we're thinking of names and just like you were pregnant. So it was stressful, but it was well worth it. It's a very short trip. It's like a 3-day trip down there. We went on a Saturday and came back on a Tuesday. Every time we heard the elevator, the kids would run to the door and look out the peephole to see if it was Justin or not yet. Finally, they came up. This was his first outfit that he was wearing when he came up. I think the Foster family got it. So he was wearing this. Here he is, wearing that outfit, and I was holding him. Could have sworn I had this little phone. I looked for the phone, I couldn't find it. That was his first toy we gave him. If he saw me leave a room, he would start crying. So that was phenomenal that he bonded so quickly.
It wasn't until I was like 7, maybe 6, that I didn't actually realize what it meant. I always knew I was adopted from the moment I could remember.
The first moment I held you at 6 months old, it felt like you were mine since birth. Like there was no difference. We bonded, I think, even before I held you. Like you were always mine, not adopted.
So when I realized what the process was, it was just mind-boggling. It was just like, it took all of that just to get me.
Did.
That's crazy when I think about it.
I feel we've always had a closeness, and sharing dance together has been something beyond words, even though it took me a year
of you dropping me off, going to Barnes & Noble, and then sitting my last 3 minutes of lesson.
Yes, because you didn't like me to watch your lesson at first.
I was very picky.
Yes, you didn't like me to watch.
Mentally preparing, because I have the habit of not preparing before a lesson.
That doesn't count. Come on, Justin, 3 more. You can do it. And up. And last one. Go. Breathe in. And exhale. And go. Come on. 2. Come on. And 3. There's no giving up in between. This is very, very, like I landed on my hand very uncomfortable. Finish.
Okay.
Don't stop. It was better, but you still wait. When you start pushing, you stop in between. You have to do the full push. Okay? Do it again. He started when he was 14. He was turning 15 that year. And he was extremely talented. Even in the first lesson, he represented like so much movement and musicality in his body. And I was just so looking forward to start working and teaching him how to become a ballroom dancer.
From the start, Justin was always moving. As a baby, he was always moving. As a toddler, he was always dancing around. So it doesn't surprise me that he ended up in dance. He loved Dancing with the Stars and used to dance along with the dances and watched that since he was little. When we had the opportunity and we found Dance With Me and found that they would take a 14-year-old, Justin and I went down there and signed him up for dance lessons. And the rest is history almost. He was 14, now he's 18, so he's been doing this for 4 years. And I've seen him grow up in that time. It's kind of matured him. And as a mom, I love watching him dance.
Hard worker, always here on time. He actually gets here about an hour early every day just to practice, stretch, go over his routines. True hard worker, man. He really is a big guy here.
Seven, 8, 9, 10.
Two, 3. Good. Go around. And come back to pick me up. Lift. Look at me. You're a leader. So if you want your lady to go with you, you have to take her. Lower now. And because you're trying to carry me, I'm heavier. Because you are letting me drop down. And then you're trying to lift me. Then it's game over. You cannot do that. There is no point to check with me. You have to know by listening to the music. Confidence. Just confidence. Okay?
Confidence. I'm gonna have like a road to the worlds where it's just like I'm gonna constantly just go down the road, and each pit stop would be like a moment of reflecting where I was. So I would have showcase that I would need to learn, and then obviously the technique of all of the dance styles that I do.
It's a world competition. And before that, we have a national competition, and I think he will actually come out stronger than before, because he really started to pay attention and get stronger at what he's doing. So I'm really, really looking forward for his presentation on these both competitions. But the main thing is this world competition and the world champion that I'm really, really hoping that it is going to be as I vision it, and that he's gonna do very well in all styles, and that he's gonna present a new Justin on a dance floor.
2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3. All right.
Da, da, da. Good. And hop. Da. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Okay. All the people that you know are going to watch in that moment when you're actually doing this. Because you cannot, while you're watching, repeat what you actually wanted to do. So you have to do it while you are performing, right? Whatever you wanted to express and feel into that moment, which it is this show, it is a big deal for you emotionally and growing into dancing and in life, right? So that's how you really need to get into performance while you're doing, yeah? Because even the blink or this,
It's
right?
gonna mess you up.
It's not to mess you up, but it's gonna distract from the story that you wanted to tell.
It's a very important piece for me. It represents kind of my story of how I got into dance and how I opened myself up to the dance floor.
Never was an early riser, used to be an up all nighter. Never saw the morning light quite like I do now. Never said no to a party, never started saving money. But everything is different since you've been around. It's the way you're smiling at me, it's in the way you hold my hand. It's the way I've watched you change me from a boy into a man. It's a million things about you, and I don't know what it is, but I've never known a love like this. It's funny how everything I dreamed about starts to seem so empty without you. It's the way you're smiling at me, it's in the way you hold my hand. It's the way I've watched you change me from a boy into a man. It's a million things about you, and I don't know what it is, but I've never known a love like this. I've never known a love like this.
Maybe when I was around middle school, no, not even middle school, when I was like in elementary school, my parents got a divorce. And at the time, I didn't really know what it was. Like, I knew that it was like, I knew what it was just based off of like TV shows, but I didn't really know like what to expect, so.
After the divorce, Justin, of course, had to have time with his father and me. And it came out that Justin started sharing with me things his father was doing and saying to him that was just abuse. And that was the hardest moment of being a parent that I've ever had, to hear that from my son.
I would be at my dad's apartment for like every other weekend or something. And he was very verbally abusive to me and my mom, apparently, which I didn't know that till maybe I was like 9 or 11. And it went on physical to me a lot.
We went through Child Protective Services and the courts, and they were of no avail, so I got a lawyer, and she helped more than anybody to protect Justin. But Justin was having a hard time, so we got him counseling, and he became suicidal, where I was afraid of what he might do. So I had to, the second hardest point in my life was deciding to put him in a children's psychiatric hospital for a time as just crisis intervention. And that was hard. I just remember after I dropped him off crying all the way home, just because it's not something you ever want your child to go through or have to experience.
It was a dark part of my life. I definitely had my moments where I didn't know what to do, and I was in and out of hospitals and whatnot, but I'm really glad that I'm the person that I am today, because like when I look back at those times, it's just like, I'm gonna be real, I didn't think that I didn't think I'd make it to 18, and I'm almost 19 now. So I've definitely made a lot of progress in terms of, you know, how to react when other people are around, and how to, because I was very angry when I was little.
My lawyer and I, were able to keep his father away from him so he didn't have to suffer any more abuse, but the damage was already done. So it took a number of years for Justin to process that and to get through with counseling and to get help. It's probably made him a strong person, but that's not the way you want that to occur.
I've kind of moved on in that chapter of my life and opened the new chapter of dance, high school, what life was like after high school. And I definitely found my outlets, and dance is thankfully one of my outlets. I have some items. I can give you a quick little brief description on where I got them. I have more, but they're in the process of being washed, but these are the three that I have. I have my smooth and standard shirt and jacket, and then my Latin shirt that was custom made that I really like wearing. I really only wear it for Latin, solely because I have a lot of shirts and I tend to run the habit of wearing the same shirt for the same style. But I really like this one. When I had a bad day at school, what I would do is I would open the passenger side, and my mom would always prop him right up there, almost as if he was sitting in the passenger seat. So whenever I had a bad day at school, the first thing that I would see was Mikey, and then the second thing I would see was my mom. So it was very, very special. Next two items are just as, I mean, everything on this is very important, but these are one of the higher ones. This is a little ladybug. It's a little beanie baby named Lucky that my grandpa kept in his office. He passed away from skin cancer in 2018, I believe. And he would always have these on display in his office. And there was one time that I was really upset that we were leaving because we spent maybe almost a week at my grandparents' house, and I was the kid that cried on the way to the airport. So he said he'll give me this if I promise not to cry, and I actually didn't end up crying on the way to the airport. And another memory that I have with him is probably one of my favorite. He had a TV in his office, and it was kind of propped against this chair, and I was the only grandchild that would be allowed to watch cartoons on his TV. And his TV primarily was on any golf channel. So anytime I walked in there, there was always golf on the TV. For his funeral, they passed out these little cards of him. I used to prop the photo up against the... So that is one of them. You like the window? I used to just like sit down and listen to music and just doodle. Sometimes I would doodle what the music was like. The thing that I want to do and something that I want to make into a full-time career is I want to do something that's both fun and that has a little bit of creativity in it.
What is the main thing that crosses your mind that you would like to continue on?
I mean, I
education?
obviously still want to continue dance. I want to continue dance till as long as I can. But when it comes to like what else to do, I mean, I am interested in graphic designing, but I still have to think of something else to do, and just in case I just try and it doesn't work out. So I'm still trying to figure out what else I want to do, whether that be in art, whether it be in graphic designing, whether it be in just something that's very creative.
I see.
Yeah.
Have you looked what you need to do to become one?
It's more or less. Sometimes some of the things are just like you need to take like the SATs for, and since I have a math disability, I don't know if I'm able to do that. So it's hard trying to figure out like what I can do that doesn't require a lot of math.
I see. So you cannot, I mean, not that you cannot, but like, is there a way that you can have like a course where you can improve your math a little bit better? So
I mean, I'm sure there is, but just I don't think my brain would let me do that. Like, I don't think I could do that because I only got to Algebra 1.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to find something creative.
I have to find something creative that doesn't require a high level of math.
What about dancing when it comes to education? Because I remember once you told me that you want to become an instructor.
I do want to become a dance instructor. Whether that be I work for somewhere, I don't think I'm going to open my own studio, but I'd like to like work for somewhere kind of like here.
I see.
I could definitely see myself do that, but I don't know, time will tell, I guess.
Do you know what required to become an instructor? Not just knowing
Not just
silver
knowing
gold.
a lot of dance. More
Patterns?
or less. Patterns. More or less. I more or less know what other requirements are. Like,
Nice.
well,
Who's your favorite instructor?
I can't answer that. Quick, quick, slow. 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 Quick, quick, slow.
So in the end, like last half, you just say you didn't move your hand at all. So that means your choreography in the end doesn't have a steps.
It feels like I'm back in high school.
You are.
I know, it feels like
But
I'm back
it's
in high school
important.
being like...
So let's do with the music.